Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and I kind of want to do a Grand Arena season review here, so I'll show you guys this current round. We'll go to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, kind of review my first two rounds of Grand Arena this season. What I want to show is why I think this new system is working. So you guys are going to see a pattern in terms of my wins, my losses, and then kind of just see why I think it's working. Because remember, they went in and said, hey, we're doing away with the Kyber squish. We want more players in Kyber. We recognize that people are getting kicked out who shouldn't be, and we want more people getting there. So I want to show you guys a bit of this stuff to show you I think it is working. I think that the formula so far is showing me that it's working, and I'll show you the reasons for that. One thing to keep in mind, though, this is something that I don't know that everybody always recognizes. Grand Arena is not like Call of Duty, where if you're good, you're going to win all the time simply because you're better than everybody else. Grand Arena is designed that you go 500. It's designed that you win as often as you lose. That the more you win, the higher your skill rating increases, and the harder opponents you have to face to eventually you will come to this place where you're going to win as often as you lose. That is the Grand Arena method right now. I think in many ways that's healthy for the game, because if they went to what was the old way, which was GP-based matchmaking, there were players who could keep the galactic power really, really small. And because you could do away with bloat, keep your roster super small, you could just destroy everybody in your bracket for a very long time. And then what you would do is when you knew you were going to increase to the next bracket level, you kept it down, energy AC in the low one, and then shot your galactic power up all at once. And so it was a real problem, right? It was a real problem. So now I think this new system is working. We'll show you guys that. But first, let's get into the video and let's thank my channel members so much. Got to thank the Wampa and Jedi Master tier members. Thank you guys again. I really cannot tell you how much I've continued to appreciate your support. Continue love seeing you guys in the Discord and on live streams. You all are fantastic human beings. And I, again, guys, really do appreciate the just constant support, regardless if I'm live streaming or not. And then, of course, got to thank the members who are on the council, even if they aren't yet granted the rank of master. Thank you guys again. I hope I am continuing to show you why I deserve your support. So, thank you guys again. Let's talk about my Grand Arenas. So, as you guys can see, this first round here, my current round, I lost to Smilall. Here, it really just came down to me needing too many battles to clear Leia, not having enough galactic power to get through his defense here. Just one of those situations where, unfortunately, you know, kind of getting let down by just my galactic power as it is. I don't have Leia for this Grand Arena. I got her mid-unlock, so my opponent, 11.5 million, really, really good account. He had all the tools, right? He's got Jedi Cal, he's got Malicos, he has Dr. Aphra, Trench. He's got a lot of stuff, and that's not a bad thing, right? I'm not, like, knocking him like, oh, he's terrible. Like, this is a great player, a good account, definitely deserves to be moving up. Round one, I lost to Arrow, who was 11 million galactic power. Another player who had a lot of those tools, right? Obviously has all the GLs, Jedi Cal, Malicos, Dr. Aphra. So you guys kind of see this pattern here that there just comes a point where, depending what the account has, I simply can't make up that galactic power difference. So that was a big, you know, again, 2 losses there. Lost pretty handedly here, too, I would say. I don't think again, couldn't clear his Leia, but I did want to show this team. He said that this team gave him so much trouble. Really nice player. We were chatting a little bit. 15 battles against this right here. I won't be using this again because I will be using this Kron with Leia. But this was a really solid team. This tripped a lot of players up, and I think this is kind of one of those ways that you guys are going to see that you can really make yourself you can really put some solid teams down just by thinking through what's causing players problems, right? Think a little bit outside the box as you're working on these GLs. So that was a really good hold for me there. Then we go up against Mini Wag here. Again, another player, same amount, almost a little bit less GP than myself. However, they did have Leia. And if I look through, I believe he also had Malicos and Jedi Knight Cal. So a really, really solid account all the way around here. Very solid account. Far more than me. The one difference is that where we started to notice some things is he didn't have like the Grief Karga Bounty Hunter, right? So he didn't have the Bounty Hunter counter for Lord Vader. No Relic Scion. My Iden is Relic, his is not. And then if I kept looking through like his Imperial Trooper team, right, doesn't have Dark Trooper. And then I'm not sure if you guys can hear my baby girl screaming upstairs, so I do apologize if that's making its way through. No Canderous, no Kaidi Mundi. So there was a couple of things where I had a few Relic characters that were giving me some boosts to other teams, right? That he kind of had more of those S tier things, but I had more like A, B tier stuff that was going to allow me to help win. So I ended up being able to full clear him. We made some pretty good plays here. Overall, I think I made some really good decisions, right? Got through a lot of the teams with little to no difficulty. The one battle I dropped here was against Kenobi. I tried Inquisitors, and it just, did not pan out. So, that's fine. It is what it is. But the big thing was that he only had a 4-star Leviathan. So that was an easy one-shot for me. So only dropping one battle gave me a lot of hope that, he didn't place his Leia. And he had her for offense. I did ask him. He had her for offense. So he dropped against my Lord Vader team here, which was awesome to see, right? So then I was like, okay, when I saw that we're level on the playing field. And then my opponent also dropped against this Rebel team down here with, the Rolo Omicron. So this team has gotten me some holds. A lot of holds, actually. It's beaten Wampa from what I've heard from other players. And then on the back wall, while the Mon Mothma team didn't hold this time, we did get holds on Zori, and my opponent just stopped playing. So these first three, what you guys saw, hopefully, was that the one player who was actually at my GP, even with Leia and Malicos, could not beat my defense. Whereas the other two players with everything, I was just not able to compete with them at the current time. So that's kind of been the theme for me in Grand Arena. So I want to switch over to Star Wars GalaxyFears.gg here to kind of show you guys the rest of the round here. So this is the first round here. So I was against this guy, Flight. So he has 10.6 million galactic power. Has, the 6 had the same galactic legends that I did. He did have Malicos and Aphra. But again, we were able to get through. The big thing here was that they did one attack on Jabba and lost, where I was able to full clear with pretty decent banners all the way around. The only time I lost was against his Leviathan here, and I had to just kind of, clean that up a bit with my negotiator, but, we got it through, right? We got it done in the end. That was what was important. It was a 6-star Leviathan as well. That kind of allowed me to get through that a little bit better. So, win there, right? Next one, we lost against Darkhead here. So, Darkhead, open link in new tab. Darkhead has 10.8 million, so still a little bit more GP. The big thing, again, Malicos, right? Seeing in here, so he did have one more thing than me. Overall, I think he has Aphra as well somewhere in here. I couldn't remember. But a good account, right? Very good player here. So in this one, this was definitely one I felt I probably could have won. Again, attacking-wise, what it came down to, I just could not beat I ended up losing against his Profundity. And then I could not beat I forget what other fleet he had down, but I just had nothing that I could do to beat it. I don't know if it was Negotiator or something, but I couldn't beat his final fleet. And then, unfortunately, I just came down to fleets there, whereas he was able to just come through and really used a lot of different teams. You guys are seeing here, like, use Seer. Look at all the stuff he threw against Lord Vader and was able to still beat it. So it was one of those situations. Yeah, here was the Wampa hold. So just one of those things where I just, even with, the similar amount of GP, he was just able to power through and beat me. So really good player here. I just could not, there's no way I could drop as many battles as he did on Lord Vader and still win. Then finally we had Minnow Felon here. So if I open this one here, so he has 11.8 million. This was probably, I have this video, I think I have this GAC recorded. So I've been trying to get it out there, haven't got a chance to yet. But this was probably the best GAC I've ever played in terms of just some of the plays I was able to pull off here. So we did General Grievous against Saw Gerrera here, and then our Kylo lost against his Terran Malicos, and our Bounty Hunters lost against Lord Vader. So these two battles right here, losing both of these was brutal. I lost a GL, and I lost, now I have to use one against Lord Vader. Like, it was brutal. But I pulled off the CLS versus Jabba, got that done. This was a huge win right here. This put me back on track to win. Then I was able to kind of get through, clean up everything. I did try my Wampa against Rogue One just because I was like, I may as well try it. and ended up just being able to get through everything, cleared his fleets. And for me on defense, what it came down to, he lost against Lord Vader with his bounty hunters, lost against Malgus with the 501st. That was a really solid win for me. And also timed out against Rey. So timing out against Rey was really, really big for me. And then again, dropped against Jabba. So he was able to get through. Like at the end of the day, guys, you see he still was able to break through because he's, massive account, but unfortunately just dropped too many battles along the way to be able to, beat me. Now we go to the second week. I lost against Zoe Fett, who you guys remember. This is the 8th largest account in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, 14 million. And as you guys see, I just couldn't do anything. I tried a couple of stuff and it just was like, oh man. Then I beat Legend Unleashed here, who only did one attack and he lost. I did talk with him. This was a player who, he has 13 million galactic power, but just said he ran out of time, right? I wasn't even able to full clear him. I just could not get through the Rey team here. Just too much left on it. So this should have been one that I lost. Right? I should have lost this Grand Arena, but I won because, he didn't show up. And then the last round here, we won against Zangster, which this was the Grand Arena I got to do live against my opponent. Really, really nice guy. Really, really good player. We dropped against Zori. We opened it up with this drop, and that was not a good thing, right? That was not good. But we were able to get through the rest of the battles. The only one that really gave us a lot of trouble was the Leviathan. Leviathan gave us trouble, and then so did Profundity. Profundity beat us, and I was like, oh man, I've got my work cut out for me. But I was able to clean up the Leviathan. I then was able to clean up Profundity and secure the win. It was not a pleasant experience doing ships. Not a pleasant experience doing ships there. But we got it done. Defensively, my opponent, he one-shot, I think, every single one of my teams on the ground. Yeah, he one-shot everything on the ground, but could not clear the Leviathan. So this was a case where, unfortunately, and I think the one thing I noticed with him, he did pull off, this was a really impressive battle here against my Finalizer versus the Executor. He tried the Empire first and left a fully fledged Leviathan team, and I think that really hurt him. I think had he started with the Negotiator team, he would have won. But again, so overall 5-4 on the season. Overall 5-4 on the season. But if you notice the opponents that I lost to, right? If you guys see down here, this guy was 11 million as well. So of the opponents that I beat, one of them didn't show up. One of them was the greatest Grand Arena I've ever played. Then I had Zangster, which was a really, that was a solid win for me, right? That was definitely more solid. And then we had guys who I just was able to do better than because they had the same amount of GP, more similar GP to me, right? They didn't have enough of the tools. Where the ones that I lost, there was only one battle where it was even close that I lost. Everything else was just me getting blown out of the water by people with far larger accounts. That tells me the system's working. My losses were to players who do not belong in Kyber 2. They belong in Kyber 1. That means the system's working. If my losses were to players who were around my GP, there would be cause for concern on my end that I'm not at the level I should be at, or that I'm going to be below it. So I think overall, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense the way I said that, but what I'm trying to say is that if my losses were all to people who were around my galactic power, it means the system was already fixed. But because the losses were all to players who were just ridiculously more overpowered than I was, that means the system's working. It means it's pushing them where they belong. So overall, really happy with that. So I think, guys, as we continue to work towards our, Grand Arena, right, as we continue to see this, I think it is going to be a big step in the right direction. Again, this is just the first month of it. They said it's going to take multiple months. So I do want to end this video, though, with something special. I'm going to start doing stuff like this when I just, need to do it. So for many of you who know, I said I had to Relic 8 my Snowtrooper. I got into Relic 1 and I was like, nah, I need to do this via a video. So we're going to be here as I Relic 8 Snowtrooper for my guild. Again, guys, I wanted to just do this on video for you at the end of this Grand Arena thing. How did, Grand Arena go? So as I get Snowtrooper to Relic 8, I think what I want to kind of recap everything with is that Grand Arena doing what it should. I went 5-4 with a match that I really should have lost. I should not have been able to beat that 13 million account. He just didn't show up. But I think overall, it's showing you that the system's doing the right thing. It pushed the players up into Kyber 1 who need to. It's keeping me at the place that they want me, right? I probably should be even a little bit lower, but you know, I think that they're really trying, and that's what I want to give them the credit for, is that they're trying. That they saw that it was broken and they figured out a way to make it better. So I think overall, guys, give Capital Games some credit. Let this GAC system work. Let me know how you guys did, right? Let me know how you guys got through these, you know, this GAC. Did you notice anything different? Were your losses more similar to mine? You know, I think that it's going to just continue to show us how this game is going to progress. So, speaking of progress, here we go, guys. Finally, oh gosh, this is just painful. This is just painful. I hate my guild so much. I want it on the record that them making me do this is criminal activity. So, there we go. Relic 8 Snowtrooper. Guys, that's the end of the video. I love all you. May the force be with you, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.